All right, hey class, here's the homework, parallel and perpendicular lines. So the very first three problems is asking us to find the equation of a vertical line that passes through each of the given points. So the way we want to approach this problem is, first of all, we need to know if I have a vertical line, does a vertical line have a slope? And we know from our previous problems that we've done that if we have any vertical lines, that the slope is undefined. So if I have an undefined slope, then I know that I can write the equation for any of these lines for a vertical line as whatever the x-coordinate is. So in this case, problem number one, the equation would just be x equals -2. For problem 2, x equals 9. And for problem 3, x equals -5. When we look at problems 4, 5, and 6, they want us to have a horizontal line that passes through each of the points. And in this case, we know that for a horizontal line, our slope is equal to 0. So if I use the equation y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, if I put in 0 for my slope, then that means everything on that side of the equation is multiplied by 0. So that whole side of the equation is just going to equal 0. So when I bring everything else down, I know that y is just going to equal to my y1, which is very similar to problems 1, 2, and 3, where if I have a vertical equation, it's x is just equal to your x-coordinate. So for horizontal lines, the equation is just where y is equal to my y-coordinate. So for 4, y is going to equal to 7. For 5, y will equal to -3. And for 6, y is going to equal to 8. And those are my equations for a horizontal line that passes through those points. All right, now for problems 7, 8, and 9, we are looking for the lines that passes through a point and is parallel to another line. So we're looking for parallel lines. And when we look for our parallel lines, we know that parallel lines have the same slope. So if I look at the very first equation they give me y equals 2x minus 6. And what's really nice is they've already put it into slope-intercept form for us. So I don't have to solve anything. I can go ahead and pull right out of that equation that my slope is equal to 2. And the point that they want this line to go through is going to be 1, 2. So now I have a point, I have a slope, so that means I can use my point-slope form to write the equation. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and now we just substitute our numbers into that. So I'll have y minus 2 is equal to my slope, which is 2. I'm going to multiply that by x minus, and my x value is 1 in this case. So they want me to put this equations into slope-intercept form and to standard form. So let's go ahead and put it into slope-intercept form. So I will have y minus 2 equals 2x minus 2. When I move this 2 on the side, adding it to each side, I'm going to end up with y equals 2x. And since 2 plus a -2 gives me 0, then this would be my slope-intercept form for this first problem. Now, if I want to turn it into standard form is just ax plus by equals c. So now I just need to rearrange my terms. So I will subtract 2x, and I will end up with -2x plus y equals 0. Well, the -2, I can't have a -2 for standard form. So when I multiply everything through by a -1, I'm going to end up with 2x minus y equals 0. And that is my standard form for this equation. And now you'll do the same process when you go through 8 and 9. Find your slope, use the point, and use the point-slope formula or equation and plug your numbers in, and then you can just rearrange your terms like you need to put them in slope-intercept form and standard form. All right, so let's look at problem 11. We'll skip problem 10 just because I wrote on top of it and it's hard to see. But problem 10, 11, and 12, they're all similar. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can find a perpendicular line that goes through a point. In this case, for number 11, goes through point 2, -8. And it has to be perpendicular to the equation y equals 7x minus 8. So those are the two pieces of information that we have. Well, we know for problem 11 that the slope of this equation is just equal to 7. Well, if I want to find the slope of a perpendicular line, I know that that slope has to be the negative reciprocal of it. So then we will flip 7 and have -1/7. So this has to be the slope of my new line. So now what I can do is I have a slope, I have my point that they gave me, and we can go in and use our point slope form. So y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. And when we go through and substitute in our values, we will have y. In this case, my y is -8. So when I plug that in, it'll be -8 equals, my m is -1/7. X and minus, well, my 2 is positive, so I can just say -2. And now we can go through and simplify this. Now, they wanted it in point slope form first, so we have done that. We've got it in point slope, so we're done with that piece. But we do need to put it in slope-intercept form. That's the next form they want. So now we just need to simplify the equation and move our terms like we need to. So I will have y plus 8 equals -1/7 x plus 2/7. When I want to move the 8 to the other side, we need to subtract 8 from both sides. And this will give me 7 5/7. And I'll still have I'm going to add that. Actually, it'll be negative. So let me make sure we have this as a negative. We'll bring down our -1/7 x, and that is going to equal to our y. So this will be our final equation for this problem. Now you might have turned your fraction on the end down here into, maybe you left it as an improper fraction if you did something like that, but this is what we're looking for.